Hello everyone, Venner is here, and today we are talking about the changelog for SFO Grimhammer version 1.3 Scorched Earth. Please forgive me if my voice is going down or everything can be a bit rough in this video, because for those that don't know, I just lost one of my SSD. Funny enough, that was the backup SSD. And a lot of modding stuff and YouTube stuff, example like the templates, frames, skills, so on, were lost. Nothing that should jeopardize the modding in the long run, but you know, happens, and there are also a lot of personal stuff out there. But yeah, tomorrow there's a release of SFO Scorched Earth. I'm drinking a cup of tea. Let's move on then. We have like a highlights of this update, and the biggest highlights are corruption rework, 760 new traits, SFO skill rebalance, commandments and stances rebalance, Kislev and Zinch additions, things that we promised back in the Shadows of Change, disintegration rework. This is like a base for the future rework, I would say, because we have some plans for it. Items rebalance and rework. Items rebalance will be most likely being done fully in the coming days, weeks, because of all the situation with my SSD. It got a bit delayed, I would say. So not all of the items are just yet rebalanced, but they will be soon enough. It won't jeopardize your saves. Don't worry about that. Yeah, okay. We have a new SFO mod menu options. Two, in fact, are about agents, and the one is about corruption, and you can make stuff quite crazy thanks to it. We also have a late game scaling rebalance, so AI should be not getting cheats but getting smarter over time to you. So there should be still a challenge at the long run. Nerd Freight Rage and Battle As You were testing it on streams recently, and they got their ass kicked. So it's working. And campaign rework of AI, it's thanks to Heckleys. He allowed us to make the changes based on his mod, and yeah, it's just a fantastic mod, so check it out. It's also in the document. UI quality of life changes. We changed the UI for attributes and some of the abilities, so it's better visible. Funny enough, the template for it also was lost, so we'll need to redone it for the future if there are more attributes. Dwarf Age of Reckoning rebalance, and the thing is here that it's less punishing right now, less of a race. And also we have a new Vault Runes. The system that was in SFO was moved to the legendary characters right now. We have additions for Volkmar, Marcus Woolhart, Kairos, Quick, and Scroll. Some of those lords got small additions, and Skaven Under Empire was revamped with better and better values. Okay, the changelog is really massive, so this video will be also massive. Good tea. Really good tea for not the best times, I would have to say. All new content was rebalanced to the DLC, from the DLC to new standards, abilities, attributes, traits, and so on. Things like that. Not the traits, because we have a different. The first SFO dilemma got no choices right now, so there are some nice surprises to spice things up, but also you can increase the pace of the game from the start without the big cheats and so on. And this is because the SFO Imperium mechanic was removed. The system was that with every settlement you were getting bonuses, yeah, small bonuses. Now we make it more controllable system, so all of those bonuses when moved to the specific stuff. For example, all tier 3 farm building, the growth building, have +1 faction-wide growth and so on. So if you want to increase your growth for the late game, yeah, it's good to make those kind of stuff and so on. Many SFO mechanics graphics were updated. We're updating those also thanks to Muspel, and yeah, just a simple change. We have 2 new options, 3 really, in fact, as I spoke about it. Many small adjustments to all faction stances. We didn't want the stances just to be better or worse. They are more like better for different situations, yeah. Regiment of Renown cards now are showing the current chevron. They lost the blue frame on them, but you can see that they're getting chevrons because they are always getting those in SFO, but now it's fully visible. Yeah, all generic items and rebalance pass with many new additions to the thing that I spoke about. Attributes, abilities, frames, again, the UI changes that we spoke about. Refresh time for all the character recruitments. Normally in vanilla it was 15 turn, now it's 5 turn. It's linked to the system that we have with the traits. I will be speaking about it in a minute. Endgame armors will have more varied abilities and some few surprises. We make sure that when the crises appear, that the faction have all the tools of its late game technologies and so on, so it can be fun. All Warhammer 2 faction rights received some small buffs. It's to get on par with the other factions, but the buffs were minor. AI no longer received resistances to attrition on any difficulty. This is quite important because in vanilla those were, I think, 75% on legendary or something. Now it's nothing in SFO on any difficulty. Many small changes to cavalry units numbers, so they calculate better, because if someone wants to play on a lower unit size, then that was problematic in the past. So yeah, we changed here and there, and changelog mentions those that were nerfed or buffed in that way. All trolls attack speed was nerfed a bit because trolls were overperforming for quite some time. Legendary Lord's traits, many of those were reworked in a way that you will see like a scope removed, yeah, because if you're overwriting working on a table, like a gigantic table, it's better to make dummy effects of things than just overwrite the whole table, because it's way less work. And for example, if you go defeat trait for Calfrance increases the experience gain for all units faction-wide and so on. But the minor lords like Tamarkan is no longer giving the all characters capacity because it was way too overpowered. Yeah, many grenade abilities can target ground, not only enemies. Control effects were buffed to greater impact, so the values were changed, but the effects are the same. Yeah, so still the Skaven one increase or decrease upkeep and so on, but they are bigger ranges there. Most effects increase projectile also have explosions right now, very important, especially for artillery. Mentor skill, the skill that no one never took, now it's automated and you take it automatically at the end levels, but it's a bit weaker. Yeah, all commandments were buffed and readjusted. Those are very strong right now. The commandments are really strong and impactful for a faction, and AI will prioritize acquiring army buff skills. Why? Because we all know that AI is not good at microing of characters and heroes and so on, so we just make that, yeah, it's a big army, it's a strong army, so go against it. All legendary hero skills were updated, especially the old ones. We also removed the generic lines for all legendary heroes, so we can focus only on those cool skills. Yeah, new skills added to Gortek and Felix because they didn't have a lot, and the existing ones were buffed a lot. We also added some buffs to their traits. Many skills were removed between the generic characters and the legendary lords. We spoke about it, so for example, Legendary Lords doesn't have generic lines from the specific factions anymore, because they have own skills. Those skills are quite strong, and we want you to focus on those stuff. Yeah, so there is a less bloat, or maybe not a bloat, but I would say less options maybe on Legendary Lords, but they are strong on themselves, so they didn't need those extra lines, in my opinion at least. Yeah, okay, many Empire Dwarf skills were removed or merged, because many skills that SFO CA just added to are very similar to the SFO one, so we just made merging here and there. Yeah, after the battle outcome is decided, this is quite important. All healing strength will be lowered to 25%. This is to remove a cheese from the game, so you end battle and you just blow up everything and heal them. This is removed, this 25%. You can do it still, but it's your funeral, I would say, in that regard. Many UI texts were updated. Show resistances, maximum capacity. This is the thing that I was speaking about, so quality of life changes. New attributes were added to many new places. Discover buildings for all factions were removed. They are not discovered buildings anymore in the game, and their effects were just moved to the walls, to taverns, and so on. So it's more natural, because no one were really doing those buildings. I never did, and now it's, as I said, more natural to have those effects. And it's also a big nerf to Changeling. Every faction received effects on some buildings that reveal hidden armies. This is also important. So in most cases, if you make walls, then the armies of Changeling or other factions, like Alphanar, because he got such an ability in SFO, you will be able to see his armies in the region. Characters discoverability values were increased, so the best way to have discovered it, not only make those buildings, but just have heroes, yeah, because those values were increased by a lot. Smaller landmarks adjustments, many that were underwhelming, are just way better and worth making, yeah. Some abilities, contact effects received small healing nerfs, so it's again vital to have, because healing is the best power in the game right now, and we want the way to counter it, even if you don't have fire, for example, yeah. So poison, lethal poison will be very good if you play green screen against factions that have like a lot of healing, because you will be nerfing not only their stats but also healing capabilities. The big point of this update are the new traits, and we made that every generic character in the game has 5 traits, and we more call them like a specializations, and you can pick those. Of course, we wanted to make that you can always see those 5 and you just pick always the one that you like, yeah. So the idea was great, but the game engine doesn't last. The problem were high elves, because high elves more traits are visible on the screen, and when they are starting confederation, the game will crash. Interesting thing, but we didn't find the fix for it. I sent a report to CA about it, but no answer just yet. If they fix it, then yeah, we will have that way. That's why we changed how often those traits are changing. As I said at the beginning of this video, now it's 5 turns, not 15. And yeah, those traits are very unique. We also make sure that those are interesting and are not stackable. There can be some stackable stuff, but thanks that we made this system fully on our own, we have a full control of it. So if something happens, balance-wise or so on, we can always just sit down and rebalance or rechange everything as we want. Big kudos to the text team, because they did all the text and the names for those 760 new traits and almost 100 new effects, because there are really crazy effects there for the units. The traits that you earn from battles, from actions in the games, were nerfed a bit because of the stacking. Those new traits are quite powerful. We don't want those to be stacking too much. Chaos Furies changes, Vanilla changed it, we went similar way, so changed to 48, it was 40 I think in SFO, and they have more melee defense, so are a bit more tanking. Yeah, small changes to Shield of Thorns and Lore of Life. In Lore of Life, Regrua cast duration increased, and Missile resistance on Overcast was doubled, because this was underperforming. Yeah, we have new 2 integrated mods, Hohan Long Rifles reskin by Snack, and Heckless overall, as I said, by Heckless, but not everything from this overhaul is done. We sit down with Heckless, he was very helpful with it, and we made a lot of good changes. Let's move to the corruptions, shall we? So corruptions overall will be much better rotating right now, and many buildings received the effect to remove enemy corruptions, because right now in the game there was many situations when, for example, as a corn, you were 100 on a set corruption and you are neighboring a faction that is, let's say, your ally, but Slanesh ally, you get the idea, and he was giving you his own corruption, and you had no way to remove it. Yeah, so we added a lot of remover of enemy corruption to the skills, to the buildings, and so on. So you can have your pure provinces. It is very important also, because when you have none of the corruption, so this is like a clean province, you are getting bonuses against that faction corruption. Faction. So for example, up to from 0 to 10 vampiric corruption, as an empire for this province, you will be getting way more experience fighting these factions and so on. I hope you understand. As I said, it was a very busy week. A lot of stress. Okay, so vampiric corruption, we have some effects. I will just go through them. Own reduces wound time for all your characters, and Dead Rise again chance. Of course, it's reversed on other. If you have, it's reversed if it's not your corruption. For others, it increases their wound time and reduce enemy leadership. Yeah, Skaven is a bit different, because special faction is immune to negative effects from any other corruption. This is like a Skaven thing. And on the lower, Thing, increase stability, reduce unit upkeep, and food gain over time. On high, reduces the stability, so increased income and siege attrition resistance. Yeah, so both have the uses. For chaos, for own increases character and unit experience gain by a lot. And on altar, lowers all enemy damage. Yeah, both range and melee. Damn it. Okay, Corn. Special, increased charge and attack for all Corn units, both yours and an enemy's. Own, experience over time and vigor loss reduction. And physical resistance for Herald Lords. Or all Chaos Corruption are giving now physical resistance to Herald Lords. Another on Corn, increased vigor gain for enemies and eventually gives rampage to whole armies on the full corruption. So again, fighting against Corn, it's a good idea to lower the corruption first and then attack. A bit at least, using the characters. For Nurgle, increase the plague infection duration, and own increased recruitment, health, and decreased cost. Growth and replenishment increases for Daniel and Festus because they don't have recruitment, health, and decreased costs of recruitment. Physical resistance for health, as I said, and reduced armor and lowering healing capacity for enemy. For Zinch, we have increased ammunition for Zinch units, increased chance of winds of strength and reduced miscast for own units, also Heralds again, and enemy increased miscast, reduced chance of wind strength, and eventual removes stalk attributes, so all of the units are revealed, and also attacks reducing. Oh my god, missile weapons has reduced attack. This is the beginning of the changing. I really need to do it better. Okay, Slaanesh. In the end, you will special increased melee damage for Slaanesh units, increased income, agent, self-defense, and sedition buildings budget. Herald Lords again, and reduced income, agent, self-defense, and eventually halved charge bonus for them. So quite hefty corruptions, very important stuff. As for the Zinj, the biggest changes, of course, between stuff of the balance here and there, we changed all the tiers of the building, so it's way better recruitment right now. He have better units on lower tiers, and it's more comprehensive, I would say. And big change for the Kairos. Recently we had that like Exalted Lords of Change were increasing the actions chance for characters. Now every character that gets to level 15 triggers a dilemma, and you can pick one of the random cataclysm army abilities for 10 turns, and it's for every character. So if Kairos get it, or other stuff, and so on. And and those are faction-wide, very powerful. We wanted to give something good to Kairos. Grand Cafe, not that much big changes besides that the Gatemaster, SFO Gatemaster was changed to the Celestial Defender. Some of his abilities were changed, and he's more focused on terracotta units because we also had those, Kislev, we have way more war changes. For example, the main city settlements lost some base income, but all the major and minor settlements got it more. Small buffs to income to some stuff. Technologies were revamped. Landmarks got a better effects. Devotion gain was increased from early missions, events, dilemmas, things like that. All trade resources received, trade resource building received small income on tier 3, so the technologies are way better here. The stuff that we got with the Shadows of Change, so Lore of the Hag SFO1 is now Lore of the Ancient Widow, and it's on Lord only, the Hag Lord, some small buffs to stuff. The Ataman attribute traits were changed, all of them, they are way better. Besides the unit stuff, page ranks were totally reworked, so you can take all of their hymns as you want, the abilities, but they were also changed. They are very strong, so page rank are more on a par with Sigmar Warrior Priest and things like that. Or the invocation of Motherlands will also change because some of them didn't have the army abilities, and some of the army abilities just didn't fit to the specific god. So all of them have army abilities, are way better, way more interesting. Every lord, so Boris, Katarina, and Konstantin, that use devotion, of course, have new buildings. They are like garrison. You can see some screenshots of them. They cost devotion. They are instantly built, and more of those you do, the more expensive they get, but they are very powerful overall. And also Boris can use devotion to instantly build stuff, so staying in chaos waits for him has a reason right now, because this is the best way for him to get devotion. Yeah, this is more quality of change updates for the Kislev, but yeah, in my opinion, it's making them more better, way better. What is in this tea? Okay, let's go on. Lizardman, the Slan Mage Priest unit skills were added back. Those were broken with Shadows of Change. All of them are back. Nakai vassals are going to make better armies depending on which building you make for them. Spawning Vigor was changed. Some of the abilities were moved because CA added some abilities that were really not fitting SFO changes, or they were already in there, so we just made it to the abilities that they are part of the traits and show on. Okay, let's go with the dwarves, because dwarves are quite interesting in the changes here. So Age of Reckoning, the biggest changes goes like the bar effects changed to all tiers, the thing that I was spoke. Cycle increased to 20 turns from 15 turns. Goal of the next cycle is maximum 50% of the previous one, not 75 like it was. More starting grudges, so all of those grudges that you start around are way higher. Mission that grant grudges should grant more. And actions toward dwarves should generate more grudges, especially war. Increased hold reclaiming grudges value. Also, difficulty level no longer affects grudge generation, because it was affecting it. I don't know why. So, Age of Reckoning maybe is not as powerful as it was, but it's more like on low you do something, and big on high you also do something different. Yeah, Oath Gold was increased from all sources because it's extremely low in vanilla right now. Spacebar missing. And gold mines are not only place of getting the off gold, it's the best place, but also we added to the resource building. So again, better emphasizing on those stuff. Okay, in terms of units, there were not really that big of a changes because SFO already does those, so you can check it later on. Besides that, SFO legendary hero was renamed to Snorri Nosebiter, so it was Garagrim, and previously we changed him, and also the Ungrim effects were changed for the campaign, but I don't see them. Yeah, they're not in the change log. I will go through it. There were changes. So right now, all of the, if you play Ungrim, Iron Fist, all of the Slayers get experience slower, but they're getting way better bonuses from experience and each chevron. Yeah, and also because of that, the recruitment cost for Slayers was also lowered, and the Snorri Nosebite, their skills were also changed. Yeah, and also the Vault runes, so SFO runes that were like on panel now are special skills for a legendary lord, and at level I think 30 you can give those runes to whole army, and they changing how you're playing because they are also excluding each other. So yeah, they are quite cool in my opinion. Let's go with the Empire. Empire got some changes. Quite important change, the Sons of Ulrich, so the unit that you could normally only summon or playing as Middenheim using Mixon Locker, now is normally can be recruited from Temples of Ulrich, but important thing is that you need the Devotion of Ulrich to do it. Same goes with Army of Sigmar. This unit was for Volkmar only, now can be recruited for everyone if you go with the Devotion. The thing is that Volkmar is getting it no matter what, yeah, if he goes the Devotion of Sigmar or not. Karl Franz, his campaign effect that was giving growth per ally was changed to experience per ally for all the characters, because we thought that he's getting a lot of growth, especially from this Imperial Machination mechanic that is giving the surplus to the places he wants to. So yeah, those two effects were just overlapping in my opinion. Marcus Wolfhard, all of his heroes were buffed a lot, and also his campaign effects were also buffed, so he's better. Elzboleth for Draken, no real changes here. Very good mechanic, very good stuff. Great DLC, by the way. Her Volkmar Grim uses the previous Calfon's mechanic, so a panel. We just called it Cult of Sigmar, and we added like the rights to it. I made a separate video about it, so check it out. Theodor Buckner, Executioner attribute. No real big changes here. The big change goes to some of the units because they were moved. The SFO Hogland Rolled Lifers that were Electorian units, now they were renamed to the... God knows what's the name of it. Was changed to the vanilla name, but it's using the SFO look, stats, and so on. We also all new iron stats. I have actual repeaters, not handguns, and this is a cool change in my opinion. We also changed the how it's called, the Steam Tank Deliverance, the Elector Count unit, because normally in SFO it was the null iron sights, now it's the Wiesenburg Welcomer, so this war wagon with grenade launchers. Just to be fun. Deliverance, of course, is a legendary unit in SFO. So more or less with those changes. We also made that the Steam Tanks have the explosion damage, explosion projectile as a base. Okay, let's go with Nurgle. We had a lot of changes to the Nurgle in the past, but we decided to merge some of the changes that CA did with ours. So, for example, all recruitment buildings are still giving income, and different buildings are also increasing those. Yeah, as I said, I'm not in the best shape, so let's go without with those stuff. Epidemus, I lost track totally. Noxbringers are now exploding when dying. Quite funny change. Tamarkan, not real big changes besides some abilities. Campaign stuff. There were not real that big changes to the Nurgle. I would say a lot of adjustments here and there. The Plague Ogres are lower tier right now because we thought that they are better as a lower tier unit. The Rot Knights are higher tier. Epidemius, we added the duration to all of his plagues, so it's easier to spread for him. Yeah. Heroes were redistributed differently for all the buildings. This is important because Nurgle, even in Vanilla, still have problems with capacity for heroes. Now they are properly redistributed through the old buildings, so that's nice. Yeah, we also added 2 new buildings. Yeah. Stuff. Corn. Blood host armies in technologies were buffed, and secondary major settlement is getting more growth. So it's because normally Corn doesn't have growth on the buildings, major settlement. He can use the secondary one, so gets something different. Yeah. Slanesh. The bonuses from cultists were increased. This is a SFO thing. Warriors are now reduced to tier 3 recruitment because they were tier 4 in vanilla, and chosen are tier 4, not 5. Yeah. Disciple armies, small adjustment, and Herald Lords for all of the Chaos Gods factions were also buffed and got new skills because they're quite useless in vanilla. Skrolk, yeah. Let me check. Small buffs to his technologies were done, but one of the coolest changes that his Plague Priest that you get from the Plague is his movement range is increased by 100%. So you won't need to, if you want to go and plague someone, you won't need to wait 30 turns for him to get something. Yeah, he will like be boom, and he's on the place. Yeah. Quick, all of his mechanics were buffed, and what is very important, clanners can be now recruited using all the war cries, not only one of them, and also they were buffed by a lot, especially by those special mechanic effects. Snickage, yeah, Snickage mechanics were also buffed a bit. Tretch, yeah, the garrisons are better. New commandment, Discovery building was reworked as those were removed from all the faction. Now it was moved to under Empire. Yeah. Vampire Coast, small income buffs, and all range units buff was increased from 5 to 10% depending on the unit. Infamy selling options are also way better. And yeah, more or less. Vampire counts units, Vlad, unique items and technologies were buffed. Post-battle again increased. The ritual cooldown, which is quite important, was changed to 20 turns from 10 turns because they were too powerful. And also, if you have one active, then all the rest are more expensive to do, because at the end of the game you have a lot of blood cases and we don't want people to spam those like crazy. Yeah, all generic lord skills were revamped, so they have like excluding skills right now. And Sylvania units, those handgunners and crossbowmen, are now 140 units and not 100, so they are more useful for the faction. Chaos Wars, not really big changes because this is a great faction. Bretonia, Rapunzel post-battle loot was increased because she got lower bonuses from buildings income. Okay, small changes to unique legendary Lord's Landmark. Alberic received some needed love, and all knights have glorious charge right now, attribute as the main passive. Okay, let's go with the Beastman Taurox. His mechanic was buffed for the first time in history, because some effects were just outdated here, and the craftable items in their panel were also buffed. Centigors, big buffs. Hearthstone settlements will have supply points, so you can make barricades. All events were reworked, a lot of work here, like there are crazy effects there and cool. And Pestigor's entities to SFO stats changes, yeah. Silverine Guard, so in High Elf's unit, properly are affected by every effect in the Lords and Technology skills. I don't know why they were never affected. Small Tyrion weapon, damage, charge bonus, and health. Yeah. Weapon damage, charge bonus, and health increased. And buffs. Not my day, really. Okay, technologies were also increased for tech list. They are a bit better. And Alifanar Shadow Working Hero, same thing as Scroll, so increased the movement by a lot. Dark Elves Madness of Cain conduct effect was moved to the ability right now, and it triggers from time to time because it gives Rampage. Yeah, Malekith Confederation base cost was increased because it was way too low. What else? Big change. Female Glade Lord was renamed to Lady of the Glade. Greenskins. All walk units will be affected by skills and technologies. Quite important thing, including Hydra and Wyvern. It was not. Some changes to the Black Orcs entities size. Norska, one of the best quality of life changes in my opinion. Monster Hunt chapters were removed. You enable Monster Hunt and you just move to the final battle if you want. The rewards of it were increased and there's no tedious going here and there to get those. Full allegiance to one god increases the plunder maximum capacity because it was problematic when you were spamming those building a lot, and Marauder Chieftain units skills were buffed by a lot. Rage was also buffed. Warriors of Chaos, Marauders are gaining experience faster as the base of the faction, and Marauder Horsemen were buffed. And experience gain were added here and there to the skills and stuff. Tomb Kings. Khalida Technologies that will lower her mission bonuses less, because Khalida got missions, she got the bonuses, and she can spend those bonuses to make technologies, and now those technologies will be getting less nerfing her, so will be more online with everything. Legion units overall will be gaining more experience faster. Sepulchral Stalkers units were giving some abilities, and yeah, more or less that's how it is looking. No other factions were affected by any changes. Yeah, this is a giant change. Look, I know. Scorched Earth took us a lot of months to do, especially the character traits, but I'm very happy with this update. There are little problems as I spoke about them, but yeah. Friday, the first things, we are going to release this update on the stream. There are a few surprises also on the stream that you can be excited for. And yeah, as I said, a bit rough because I lost a lot of stuff, but I was Veneris. Remember to feed the YouTube algorithm, be nice to each other, and have a wonderful day. And sadly, there won't be credits for the patrons because I also lost this part of the video. So see ya.